Hey, so God gave me a dream, a vision this morning, a prophetic warning to a lot of believers who think they're saved, but they're not. Because you cannot serve two gods, and deep down your heart knows where you are. You know your sin. And yes, Jesus is merciful, but you have the free will, and if you didn't follow him, you will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. And I woke up in this dark abyss, and I called out on Jesus. I called on Yeshua, but there was no response. And I knew in that moment that faith without works is dead. That you will, if you don't repent, you will perish. And I've just been falling into temptation lately and justifying it in my own head. But in that moment, I knew I had made the choice. So I tried to get out of it. There was tormenting people to my left, hundreds of them, just screams of people tormented, stuck at this bottom of this abyssful dip. Like a well. And all these temptations, I started having to fight them from the bottom. The stuff I had been dealing with in person, in the physical, but I could see the spiritual wickedness behind it, and I had to fight off these demons. The temptations were so strong, and I was getting delivered in my sleep. I was getting delivered in a dream, just demons, and yeah, spiritual warfare. And I was going through these levels, making it out, trying to escape. And each one was like getting harder and harder. And the devil knew exactly, what he needed to, to make me fall. That's his goal, this is very real. And I was at the bottom, and I called out on, Yeshua again, after I had been, repenting, and all the tormenting sounds stopped. And then I started to run to the top of this, kind of like a castle. So you have like a dark castle, and then you have the stairs that well up. But as I was going up, there's doors on the left and right tempting me in, and I was falling, but then I was coming back. I was thinking about the cross, the crown of thorns, just the anguish, the pain Jesus went through, and that was delivering me from those moments. And yeah, the devil knew exactly where to get me. And eventually, this was like 10-30 minutes. It literally felt forever, like the temptations. It's just Christ was showing me how many crucifixion, how much I need to crucify my flesh and be led by the Spirit in order to walk with Christ. So just get all these fleshly things that, very spiritual. And finally, the last temptation was so hard, and then I just was like, no, I'm getting out of this hellhole. I closed my eyes, and I ran to the side as fast as I could, getting out. And I could go way deeper on what all these temptations were like, but just hear me out. However, whatever your biggest temptation is in life that draws you away from God, that's what it was. So, yeah, there was and then there was literally this thick of a tube that went into light at the top, and I got out, and that's when I woke up. And that narrow path is literally this small, and I cried because that showed me how narrow it is and how many people won't inherit the kingdom because they serve two gods. They love the world and they love God. They love God, but they also love their own desires, and they didn't fully surrender, and it was like, wow, there was no way out. But God, I'm still alive, so God gave me another chance. And I think that was a prophetic warning to a lot of believers, not just non-believers, that are living lukewarm, living with disguised sin that's maybe not even in the Bible, but it's a sin for you, because the path is so narrow. And that was crazy, because I think that was also symbolism to show that it's this narrow, and the path is so narrow. I don't know anyone who I don't know a lot of people who are living that righteously to make it in. I do know a lot of people, but I know a lot of people who think they're saved and they're not. I'll just put it at that. So yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, again, I knew exactly when I was in the abyss that I deserved to be there. Like my heart just knew it. Everything about me knew it. There was no hiding. I called on Yeshua, he wasn't there because I had chose, Just I was like, just because I had believed in him, but no, you need to repent or perish. So, but then after I was fighting that stuff again, and I called on Yeshua, all the tormenting sounds stopped. The tormenting was so loud of the people. It was disgusting. It was terrible. And yeah, God made a way out and showed me how real this is. So we're gonna have to chop, chop, chop. If you're, come on, lock in with God, yo.